Hi again, everyone. This is Matt Stolenwerk, Distance Education Specialist. This is part 4 of my 10-part blog series on building a simple yet effective course in Moodle. So on Monday's blog, we covered how to add assignments to your course. Today, I'll walk you through creating a forum activity. So forums are an online version of a group discussion. They're a really useful way for your students to interact with you and each other in your course. So there's several types of forum types to choose from, and there's a lot of settings possible, and I hope during this video you can get a good idea of which ones work best for your needs. A forum can live in either of two worlds. It can be a graded assignment, or it can be an ungraded activity like a question and answer forum between you and your students, maybe an informal discussion of the course content, or even just a lounge style forum where students can connect with each other. I recommend at least one informal graded forum so you give your students an opportunity to connect with each other. And as part of that, you'll want to actively promote that to let the students know it's there and what it's for and actually participate in it. By the way, each new course automatically includes this news forum activity. This is not a discussion forum, not a typical discussion forum, because students don't participate in it. It's really just for you, the teacher, to post announcements to your students. It's a really useful tool if you need to share some timely information with your students, like upcoming due dates or maybe a change in the schedule. To create a new forum, we are going to work in our sections to put our forum. What you want to do is go to your course page, and you'll want to turn on editing as usual. That's this right here. And when it's on, you'll see all these new icons pop up. Go to the section you want to add the forum to. Now I have my assignments section here and my resources section here and my support section down here. This is where I put my informal forums, but I'm going to put in a forum that's going to be graded, so I'm going to put it with assignments. I'll choose this link right here just like I did with assignments and resources. Add an activity or resource. And since a forum is a type of activity, it's going to be in this top list. There's forum right there. You can either click on it once and choose add, or you can just double click on it and it will bring up this edit forum screen. So we'll put in the forum name, and remember, as usual, you want it to be descriptive, you want it to be concise, and you want it to be unique to the course. You don't want it to be the same as any other activity or resource, so that you can auto link it later. So I'll put mine in. You're teaching philosophy, content response. That's a mouthful. And then the description goes right below it. The description is required, but we're going to skip this for a moment again, and we're just going to go do the settings first and then come back here. I usually leave the display description on course page blank since that's going to be in there. Now this part here, this lets you select the type of forum your students are going to see or going to participate in, and you need to have an idea of what you want it to look like to decide which one it is. And I'll walk you through each one. The first one, the default one, is called a standard form. Let me show you really quickly what that looks like. It's Here's a little sample of it right here. So this would be the description that you type into your forum for students to respond to. Remember, this is a forum, so it can have multiple topics in it. Students respond to this forum by adding new discussion topics. So each student can create as many topics as they want. And when they create a topic and type a post to that topic, other students can add replies to that topic. So I think that this type of forum is really perfect for informal lounge style forums because students can add topics as they please. It's great for generating ideas, getting new conversations going. But if this is an assignment, you do have less control over the direction of the forum since students have so much can add new posts and topics as they please. It's kind of hard to, it might be hard to track. So the next type that we'll look at will be the single simple discussion. And that's a lot like the standard discussion. The difference though is that the description that you type into for the discussion actually becomes the one discussion topic that would appear right here. There's only one topic, and the student's job is to respond to that topic, reply to that topic. So it's just one topic. A good thing about this is that it allows you a more focused discussion on one topic. It doesn't, there's not that chance for it to go out of control, students posting new topics, things like that. And of course, others can offer replies, so there's still the flexibility of students providing comments to replies that students or you give to the original topic. All right, so another type of forum is called Q&A forum. And a Q&A forum behaves a lot like a standard forum. The difference, however, is that students may not see other students' replies until they themselves have posted to the topic. The other posts will remain hidden until they complete and send a response to the topic. Professors like this, instructors like this, because it prevents students from being influenced by the other students' responses before they post their own response. However, you may want your students to see the other responses. Maybe it'll encourage conversation as students read other responses. It might give them ideas for their own responses. It also might avoid responses from being redundant. The students are composing their responses blind. Maybe being able to see other responses allows them to expand upon that conversation rather than just repeating it. All right, what's the next type? It is a standard form displayed in a blog-like format. So that is, it behaves the exact same way as a standard form. The only difference is that here's your description here, but as students post to the forum, their topic text actually appears in the forum so they can see it without having to open the topic. And then other students are invited to reply to the topic up here. This is really nice. It invites conversation. Students can see at a glance what students are talking about without having to dig into the forum. One possible downside is if this gets to be a really big forum, it could be kind of cumbersome because there's a lot of text here. You can't really collapse it. There are, however, ways you and your students can get around that by changing your view of them. Okay, all good. So we've gone through all of the different types of forums. So you've chosen the type you want. I'm going to choose the standard forum for general use. Below that are settings for attachments and word count. You can limit the size of files that are attached to students' topics and replies. If you don't want your students to be attaching files to their blog posts, you can just set this to 0. And if you have a minimum or maximum word count, you can turn on display word count so students can actually see their word count as they're composing their posts so they can see how their progress, how they're doing with that. All right, below that is subscription and tracking. Students can subscribe to forum topics, and what that does is that when a new post is submitted, Students will receive a notification in their email so that they can go check it out. Now, by default, subscription is optional, meaning they have to opt in. Students have to actually say, yes, I want to subscribe to this. But maybe you want to force them to subscribe so that they don't have a chance to turn that off. This is a good option for that news forum that I mentioned earlier. You want to make sure students get those announcements from you. So you want to make sure that they're always subscribed to it so they don't miss any of your messages. Another option is auto subscription, and where the default is opt-in, this one is opt-out. Students are automatically subscribed to the forum, but they can choose to turn that off. This would be useful if you feel your students are not knowledgeable of how to subscribe. It allows you to subscribe for them, and then when they figure out how to turn it off, they can go ahead and do that when they're ready. And the last option, which I don't think I've ever known anybody to use, is subscription disabled, and that just prevents students from subscribing to any of the forum topics. You can also, I usually leave read tracking on. This allows students to select options, just decide whether they posts can be marked as read or not read. Okay, post threshold for blocking. This lets you limit the student posts to a maximum number over a given time period, whether it's a day or a few days or even a week. This just keeps students from submitting too many posts. You can also select how many can be submitted over that period of time, as well as a warning letting them know they're running out of their post quota. So this grade category isn't really used unless you have categories to your grades. If you want to make your topic form graded, you would go down to ratings. Ratings let you give ratings feedback to posts, like a score or a scale, like a grade, something like that. If your form is indeed a graded assignment, you can set your grades as part of your ratings. This aggregate type right here lets you set how it's graded. Of course, every topic, every form, each student may have several posts. So this lets you determine how they're graded based upon all of those posts. Are you going to give an average of all of those ratings you give for those posts? Is it going to be based on how many ratings are given for those posts? The highest rating, the lowest rating? Is it going to be a total of all of the ratings? So let's just say it's going to be how many. You can give, just like in a regular grade, you can offer points, totals for those ratings, a scale like a letter grade, something like that, or none. None is just feedback. You don't actually give them a grade, you're just giving them feedback. And this is also nice if you want to let students give ratings too. You can set up roles for them, students, so they can give their own ratings, like as in liking a post or anything else you want. You would just make sure to add that to your create a custom scale for that. Okay, I'm going to keep going here. You can restrict ratings, so you can make sure that ratings will only be accepted within a certain range of dates. If you have a due date, for example, for submitting posts. Now, there is another alternative to doing this. If you just want to assign a single score for each student's contribution, you can create a separate discussion assignment like we did on Monday, and you can enter the score directly into there. So you can look at the discussion, kind of get an idea what kind of score you want to give the student, and then just enter it into the assignment. You might find that an easier solution than this. It's just, I'm putting it out there for you. So the last three settings, these categories are really advanced. I'm not going to cover them right now. What we are going to do is go all the way back to the top again to the description. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste my description right here. This will take me just a moment. There's my description right there, and I'll just format it a little bit. Okay, so what should your description have? This should be a complete, your students should know very clearly what they're expected to do when they read this description. And remember, if you chose the single discussion topic option, this is where that discussion topic question goes. So in this area, you want to list for your students what you're looking for in a response. For example, what question do you want them to answer? And what points need to be addressed in the response? Do they need to refer to specific readings from the course? Do they need to address a specific element within the reading? Do you have a minimum or a maximum word count for them? When's the post due? How many posts are due? And of course, you also want to include what students are going to do to discussion after they submit a post. Do you expect them to read posts from all the other students? Do you want them to put in replies to other posts? How many? And when are they due? Just to help you out, I've listed the elements that you might want to consider for your own forum topics. It's right below this video in my blog post. You can use it as a guide for writing your own forum description. Okay, so we're done with forum settings. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. I'm going to choose Save and Return to Course. Oops, it looks like I forgot something here. You know what? I'm going to set no ratings for this so that I can really quickly go back to the course. And it appears right there, your teaching philosophy content response. So I have this in a certain order, and I want this to actually be at the top. So see this four-headed arrow here? I can drag this to the top of my list of assignments. And I can do the same with a news form. You know, I don't really need it up here. I'd like to put it in my support section. So I'm going to grab it, drag it all the way down to support, and it's in my support section. Okay, got everything the way I want it. I can create all the rest of my forums now. And that's what I want you to do right now. Go ahead and create your forums. And on Monday, we'll start developing your syllabus that's going to go right up here at the top of your course. So have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.